Okay guys, welcome to the channel. So today we're looking at a Ford Transit 350 HD chassis. So this is a motorhome, it's a Coachmen Freelander 20CB. But if you can see here on the door, it's a Transit 350 HD chassis on this little motorhome. And what I'm working on today is I want to work on checking the differential fluid in this. Now I bought this used, and so I'm just trying to go through everything, making sure I have all the fluids topped up, making sure I have everything here kind of in tip-top shape. So if you see here, I have some fluid. I'm using a 75W90 gear differential fluid. And the tools you're going to need some kind of a 3/8 ratchet with a ratchet extension. So it's a 3/8 ratchet extension. And then also, in order to get the fluid into the differential, this is just a fluid pump. So I'm going to be able to pump the fluid in there. If it is low, I can transfer the new fluid into the differential. Okay, one thing that's going to help me is if you see these pieces of wood I have here, this is just like looks like it's a 10-inch wide board, like a 2x10 board cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to back the RV onto these boards, so that way it's going to give me a little more clearance. So you just need a little more ground clearance to be able to squeeze underneath there, because you want the vehicle level, because you're checking the level of the differential when the vehicle is sitting on level ground. You don't want to jack up the back or the front. It'll throw the level of the fluid off. So I'm going to get this up on these wooden blocks, and then we'll crawl under and start checking the differential fluid. Okay, this is the view from the front of the differential. So I'm looking towards the rear. If you can see here on the driver's side front of the differential, there's this little plug here. This plug is where you fill in the differential fluid. Now, the reason why I'm checking the fluid is because there's some kind of the differential cover is kind of wet, as if some is seeped out a little bit. So I want to check the fluid, make sure that I have plenty in there because I have a big road trip coming up. So this is where I'm going to get my ratchet with the extension on there, and it's just a square hole. It's a square size specifically for that 3/8 ratchet extension to be able to pull that off. Okay, so I'm just inserting my socket extension into the drain, or the fill bolt hole here, and just backing it right off. It's traditional thread, so it's just counterclockwise to release that. And with it loose, you can just back the rest of the way off just by hand. When you pull it back, you'll just want to kind of peer into there and see if it's full. A little bit of fluid should be seeping out. So it's not full, so that means the differential is a little bit low. So I'm just going to get my pump set up onto the jug of oil, and I'm going to pump some into the fill hole until it starts seeping out. When it seeps out, you know that it's at the fill line. It's all the way full. So whether you need to pump it in, or if you have one of those new bag methods that the fluid comes in like more of a bag, you could like squeeze it in there. That might be a little easier, but I'm just going to fill this up until it starts weeping out of the hole. Okay, this took almost half of a quart of differential fluid, and right there you can see it slowly kind of seeping out. That's how I know that it's full. I can pull out the filler and put the cap back on. Okay, I'm just going to screw it in hand tight and then get the ratchet here and tighten it down. Not super tight, just snug it down. And after I get that done, I'm just going to clean up the mess, any drips, and that's a pretty easy process to check that fluid. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you did, feel free to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.